feel like having a strong team behind you is key, you know what I mean? As an artist, you can only do so much on your own, you know what I mean? How people are asking when's the point when you need a manager, you know what I mean? Like he said, you know what I mean? You need a manager when you have some things to manage, you know what I mean? So if you're an artist and you have shows and feature offers and magazine offers and all this other stuff, you need a manager, you know what I mean? Because as an artist, you want to just focus mostly solely on your music and on your craft. So, I mean, yeah, I definitely think having a strong team pushing you behind you is key, you know what I mean? Whether it be a manager or a management team, you know what I mean? But, yeah, strong team is a big part.
Right behind Chevy down. One jam, yep.
It's definitely really good to see people coming out from Pittsburgh hip hop. So that's definitely a good thing. Different cultures, different backgrounds, that's always a plus. But I think the thing that Pittsburgh hip hop definitely struggles with, I think because everybody thinks because you put your music out on Twitter or Instagram, that it's just going to go forward. Even in the spectrum of the manager thing, I don't know the name, but it's always good to have a good manager and not just a manager. Because you can have a manager, but she's not pushing for you, and it's like, yo, it's good, you're going out there, you know what I mean?
It's not happening. I've heard a lot of hot music, but you're not getting it in the hands of people that are in clubs, in bars. It's not happening. That's the disconnect. You're running to Twitter and Facebook and forgetting that how many friends you have? Just that are
Well, Facebook.
Yeah. Okay, facts. Okay. I would say between the 16 DJs that I deal with, we may touch roughly about 1,000 to 2,000 people a week. So I'm getting the same numbers, and they're basically going real. You know what I mean? It's not Facebook. You don't know how many people are actually listening to that stuff.
Right.
But if I'm playing to a crowd of 200-300 people, and somebody goes, "Who's that?" That's real life response.
That's real fans.
It's real fans. So to me, the biggest disconnect is between the artist and the team. That's where we're at. Okay?
I mean, hip hop is coming to that. I mean, that's it ain't supposed to be that way, but it's been there.
It's always been there.
Go ahead. I want to hear what you guys say. Do with the green hat. You don't want to elaborate on that? It's always been what? Artists and DJs?
At the club, whenever you hear a track that you don't know, what is that? What is that? It's you're listening to DJs play shit. That's how you get introduced. So that's when you're in a different city, and then you're like, oh, where's that dude from? I didn't know there was rappers in Pittsburgh. I just came here. Now I know.
From the panel, the artists on the panel, name who's bringing records? What DJs are bringing records? Do we name any? 1, 2?
Goodnight.
Peach Butter, local DJ, right? Bamboo, local DJ. DJ Goodnight.
That you have you can make an unedited song, but make sure you make a radio edit, an acapella, and an instrumental. Without that, you can't send it to nobody. I have over 25,000 DJs that I'm connected with. I can't send nobody music that's unedited because they're not going to play it on the radio. So where do people think they're actually going to get their music played at if they don't make a radio edit?
I think the real problem here is the disconnect between like what is hip hop, right, and what does that mean? Because when we talk about DJs, right, and the importance of the DJ, and we talk about a lot of other people that that are part of there are other elements of hip hop than rap, and unfortunately, like right now, that is what is being put out there, right? Is because they're also trying to use that to take away hip hop from us. Because that's what's making people money. So I think that one of the main things that's missing is that reconnection with what hip-hop is. Because, I know what hip-hop is. That's why I know rappers. That's why I know the DJs. That's why I know the graph writers. That's why I know the B-boys and B-girls. And I know all of them, and I include them in every single thing that I've ever done in my entire life. And I think that is the thing that, it's not like all these other things can be filled in, right? Marketing can be filled in, all these things can be filled in, right? Managers, whatever, everybody can have their opinion, and you gotta have your own gut about what you need and when you need but we're not together and unified in that way. Like, yes, Paradise was saying about, yes, it's a culture of like competitiveness, but at the same time, like, yes, it is in some ways, and at the same time, like, it's not. That's why everybody is there to support each other. And it's always been like that. When you lose that, like, if we're gonna call this hip hop, we need to be clear about what that is. So it's not just about being a rapper, it's not just about that means you gotta include and be inclusive of all those pieces, and if you are inclusive of all those pieces, a lot of this will take care of itself. A lot of these issues will take care of itself because you have that relationship with the DJ. You got people all over, there's B-boys and B-girls from Pittsburgh who are all over the world. One of my best friends is a woman from here, Tina, who is not able to be here, Tina Marie. She travels the world teaching this stuff, and she takes all of the people, that get her stuff and get her music. Like, she can circulate that. So I think that we need to make sure that we're remembering what that means. It's not just one aspect, it's all of those things together. And as long as we continue to completely separate them, that's when things fall apart. It's not one thing or the other thing or this, it's all of those things together. It's your manager, if you need one, because you don't really even necessarily need one. And if you don't have your marketing together in the first place, you don't even need to be calling a manager. Like, if you can't get to a certain point on your own, that manager, no matter how good they are, isn't going to get you there. That's not their job to, like, do your work for you. Right. So I think, like, we need to get back to that, and I think that's a conversation that I'm always interested in having, is what does that look like? Because I think that's where a lot of this is coming from.
Good point. Chicken?
Yeah, I just want to say real quick, I'll be the first to say, ain't no rapper in this room going bar for bar, verse for verse with me, and I'll tell every rapper.
I'll rap with you right now!
I'm the first to say that, but at the same time, I love each and every one of these rappers up here. Mostly everybody in here I listen to. I'll do work with everyone. So I mean, if you haven't met me, maybe you took my music the wrong way. I would say that, but y'all know this how I feel. It is what it is. But at the same time, I will be glad. Like, it'd be my pleasure to work with any rapper in here, any producer, whatever so heavy. I mean, I love my city, so I would.
Let's battle.
I'm a competitive artist, but at the same time.
Let's battle.
Quiet, let's go.
We can battle. We can battle.
I'm going home right now.
Because Paradise has been someone that I've learned so much from over the years, and I think while he's talking about the game of competition, he's one of the most helpful people I know. He just stood up and dropped some knowledge, and he'll do that any time of day. And he's out there protesting and posting things that everybody needs to know. And I think right now, hip hop has always reflected the culture that it represents. And right now, I think that our culture is in decline in a lot of ways in the world. And I think that the spirit of competition throughout our entire society has destroyed a lot of things. And I think that it is the time for collaboration and for people to work together. So, I just want to drop some really quick knowledge that I think is really important, and you could read in detail what I'm talking about. But just one thing, for example, is there's a particular type of copyright that we kind of discovered randomly that allows your music to be free and distributed on a lot of file sharing sites, such as FrostWire, Jamendo, Free Music Archive, etc. And this type of copyright does not forbid you from selling on iTunes and CD Baby and your CDs on the corner or whatever. It's very open, but it gives you the opportunity, a lot of what everybody's talking about is getting your music out there. It's very difficult to do that. Facebook and Twitter retain people. They don't really get you new fans all like that. I mean, they really don't. And especially now with how ad-driven everything is, and Twitter, is a billion-dollar company, that's going to probably have ads soon. It's about retention. So you really want to be able to get out your work. So doing shows, creating community, going out and supporting other artists. I don't do that as much as I used to. I spent so much time doing that. It was my job at one point. But I think the next phase, if you're interested in taking it to the next level, and Pittsburgh taking it to the next level, I would definitely suggest people look into this, because the cool part is you put it on these sites, and inevitably people are going to listen to it. I had 100,000 downloads of my first album that I put on there. It wasn't even that good of an album. Now my most recent album, 5 albums later, I think is a bit better, and I got like 70,000 listens on one of those sites in the first couple days. I get tons of fans that way. And the cool part about this copyright is that it doesn't really cost very much at all. I think it's maybe $70 or something. But it allows you to hit up YouTube comment, like content creators. You know, everybody, YouTube is the biggest site in the world right now. Like, there are billions of fucking videos up there, you know? Excuse my language. And everybody that makes a YouTube video does not have the ability to put copyrighted songs on there. So they can't put Jay-Z, they can't put anybody that's signed to a label, they can't put their music to be the background of their video about how to meditate, of their video how to plant tomatoes, their video about how to paint your nails. Like, there's millions of these content, people with their vacations and, you know, whatever the hell, people are making videos all the time and they want music. That music cannot be copyrighted or their YouTube channel gets deleted. So it's like a big deal, you know? Most of us probably don't have copyrighted material. Most underground artists don't. But we can't get it to these content creators because we don't have proper copyright and we don't have the ability to. So these websites are where content creators go. So like my music has been in 12,000, I'm on like 13,000 now, random ass videos. Like, and they have to credit you because they get it for free. So it's got people will hit me up. Like, there's this one guy who made a video about him and his boyfriend. It's like super random. My song suddenly had like 20,000 listens, my audio version of that song. You know, we're like, how'd this happen? So I would just like to, I really believe in collaboration. I really believe that that's the evolution that our consciousness must get to in order to deal with the problems that are on the planet. And so as someone that's learned a lot and made a shit ton of mistakes, I would like to share that information, and I would highly suggest that all the successful people in this room do the same, because it's really the time, like, to do that. So if you all want to check out the easiest way to find me is you know, my name, Kelly Mays, you just Google it or whatever. My Huffington Post article is there, and it details, like, line for line, exactly how to do this. It's not for everybody necessarily, but I don't really see that big of a risk. It's only been a reward for me. So I would love to see other people try it and see if it works, because it's not like my music is something everybody likes, you know?
How are you supposed to get anywhere as an artist if you're not even trying to sell yourself? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how are you, if you have shows and you're doing 100 shows and you do like 5 shows in 7 days, realistically, your fan base isn't even that strong to come out 5 days out of 7. You know what I mean? You're not even reaching out to the people to come to your show. Everybody always complains and cries about the artist leaving, like, oh, he left, and you know, artists don't stay. But at the end of the day, like, what makes them obligated to stay? Why do they have to stay? They're an artist, they got other stuff to do. They may have other shows, because, like, personally, if you do your job and you have your fans there, you don't even notice them leave. You don't see them leave out the door. That's just one thing, so I gotta leave that one. And then with the manager thing, you gotta find somebody who knows how to hustle, man. Somebody that knows the business and knows how to hustle, ain't gonna take no for an answer, kick down the door, moving like crack weed, whatever it is that it sells or whatever. You gotta make that person you find it, and you gotta push them, and you gotta push them. As far as the schools, I have a young artist, his name is